Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week where Rangers were able to get those two wins as we spoke about last week over Aberdeen, which has just put us into a really, really good position. In the league now, Danny Rowe still only lost one game in the league as Rangers manager, so he continues to get every single ounce of effort and anything out of this Rangers team that we didn't think was possible. We're now second. Obviously, Celtic play on the Wednesday, but it's over to them now to see what they can do in this title race. It's wide open between three teams, and obviously Motherwell are in there now as well. So, aye, we'll talk about the Aberdeen games. We'll talk about the transfer window. Obviously, Tochi Chukwuani was signed before the game, so he'll probably be straight into the squad, you would think, for the game on Friday in the cup, which is a good time to make a debut. And aye, we'll go on for there. But if you do enjoy the podcast, because I always like, subscribe, and share, and comment your thoughts on Rangers at the moment and some of the possible signings that we're going to talk about. Firstly, we'll just briefly touch on the Aberdeen game at home on the Tuesday. Um, Quite like the game yesterday, just really routine. There was nothing out of the ordinary with this game. Aberdeen had a couple of chances second half, but we'd done the business in the first half, and it was probably again matched with the game yesterday, like the easiest games against Aberdeen we've ever played.
Aye, like you say, it's usually a pure tough challenge. Aberdeen, obviously, twice in a week. But like we were saying last week, we've not got the best record against Aberdeen. Aberdeen, they're usually like a bogey team, but aye, it was basic tactics. When it's a game, Aberdeen didn't really seem up for it like they usually are. Obviously, we'll probably touch on set pieces later on, but they're also a massive factor now, getting his goals and winning his games. Also, Fernandez is an absolute nightmare for any defence that he's coming up against lately. Connor Barron's obviously we've been working on the tactics and that with the set piece coach. Obviously he's out now, which is a bit annoying. But I just like you say, standard really actually like quite unexpectedly like easy against Aberdeen because they usually put up a really great showing against us.
Aye, well, that was the surprising thing between the both games. I think obviously the game at Ibrox on Tuesday, we get off to a good start. 10 minutes in, Fernandez scores that header, and then Raskin just before the break, and it could have been three even with another header that he had that just went over the bar. Second half, it left us not really having to do that much, just defend our own box, and of course Aberdeen were going to come out with a bit more to throw at you to get back in the game. But even at that, the quality of Aberdeen is poor, and they had a good couple of chances at times that could have on another day on another Aberdeen team. Seasons gone by would have caused us issues, but I never really felt under threat in this game, unlike other league games we've played recently, but have been kind of tight. The Motherwell game, the St Mirren game, I'm like, right, these games could go either way if we're not careful. But aye, just a routine performance for the team, like the game on Sunday was as well. Obviously, Connor Barron missing out, Dujon Sterling missing out, Dujon obviously for a couple of weeks, Barron a bit longer. You were kind of thinking, right, two kind of integral parts of why we've got points recently. Missing them, players had to slot in like Asgard, who have maybe have chipped in with goals, but performance level has to increase. But again, we get an early goal, and we again, I wouldn't class it as Aberdeen were threatening us, but a couple of chances they had, and then obviously we get the goal. Asgard really well worked set piece again, and that's three out of four goals have been scored via corners against Aberdeen, which is mental. And it probably should have been another set piece goal with Emmanuel Fernandez as well. For me, the view I look at that one is, are you not allowed to go and challenge for the ball when it's in the air? Of course, he has to use leverage to even get the ball, but to me, that just looks like somebody wants the ball more, and the goal has been bailed out by VAR.
I think Chris Boyd was saying it as well. Like after the game, it's like obviously like people that have played football, obviously we watch football all the time. It shouldn't be a foul, but it's more as in like it's not really the ref's decision that's wrong. It's more in the laws of the game. Like you could argue the referee is just following the laws of the game, and it is a stupid rule. Like you can't jump. When you're jumping up, you're going to use your arm. You're going to like have your arms out wide like as momentum. So I think Mitov does make a bit of a melee, and obviously he's going to because the goalkeepers know that as soon as the touches them, they're going to get a foul, which is annoying. But just great to show you that we've actually got that threat now because we were missing it for years. Like free kicks into the box, corners into the box. It was never really ever been a threat. So it's good to actually have that now.
Nah, no, because anytime we hit a corner, you're blaming Tavernier for it just hitting the first man half the time. The last time I remember us being kind of good at corners and having that threat is when Goldson and Katic were there. I thought they were always a constant threat. I remember in that European run when we first got in the Europa League in Gerrard's first season, a lot of those goals coming for Katic and Goldson through those early stages were key for
Mm.
us. And aye, if you carry that threat, it's going to be hard to defend against because we've got multiple players that can provide that threat. Asgard, as you've seen, Shermitty's obviously a big lad. You've got Suter and you've got Fernandez, who obviously is the pick out there. But I think it was harsh, probably by the law and all that kind of stuff that that they do with the goalkeepers. It probably
Aye.
shouldn't stand, but it was a bit of a blow. And then we got to half time. I was again thinking Aberdeen could make more of a push of this because they did threaten us at times. They did have a couple of half chances. They could get back into the game. I thought Aberdeen, looking at their squad, they have quality players, but they just can't work as a team, which is apparent, and they've not scored in 6 hours of league football this season. So, aye, pretty dismal for them. But the second half was, I think, probably the most professional performance that Rangers have put in for a while. To be honest, going over there, the conditions worsening, just get a second goal and get out of there. And it's exactly what we did. Gassama with a good bit of work down the left hand side to get us that second goal, which we really deserved. I mean, there was only one team that was going to win this game in the second half, and it was Rangers. And it's good to see that those signs are there, pushing for that second goal.
Aye, like you say as well, it was a weird game because usually you're up at Aberdeen, you're thinking, right, this is going to be tense. It's the fans are on you. It's a bit of a rivalry. Obviously the conditions didn't help at all either, so it felt weird to actually in the second half like be in control of the game, thinking that we should be 2-3-0 up ahead. So obviously I just brilliant like team performance, like you say, it was controlled. Again, Danny Rose didn't really feel like he had to change the game at all because we were in control. I don't think we made a subtle bit late on in the game anyway, probably just to run the clock down a bit as well. And I thought I was going to say as well, I thought it was quite funny that I heard the Aberdeen staff are moaning about how long we were taking to take
Hmm.
like set pieces and that, even though every other team in the league like waste time against us. I just thought that was a bit
Aye.
funny as well.
I know these guys will try to do anything to kind
Aye.
of downplay what Rangers are achieving at the moment, and as you can see for the team, there nothing much changed apart from apart from Asgard, sorry, coming into the lineup, and I thought he was good. As for the bench, that is where the signings have to come in now. We have to get help in that front, and not rely on guys like Matondo and Dow to make up a bench because it can happen in football. Raskin could get his leg broken this game and we have to sub on Dow. And that can't be a situation that we're in. So, the quicker the signings ramp up, the better. We did get our first one though, which is good. Tochi chukwuani from Sturm Graz in the Austrian Bundesliga. Again, this guy's got a really good profile to where Rangers are signing the kind of similar players like your Diamandis and Raskins and these guys that are maybe not polished as players yet, but they're definitely going to improve at Rangers when they're here. I think it's another thing to note as well when we're signing him. He's came for a team that's already won the league as well. He's used to that reality where he has to win every game to win a league title, and I think that's a nice welcomed addition into the mentality of the squad for sure. But especially with Barron's injury, we had to kind of fast track this signing, and he's in the door now, £4 million, I think it was. So decent chunk of change being spent on him as well. Andrew Kavanagh has definitely given Danny Rowe the batting that he deserves at this moment in time, and giving him a more dynamic midfielder who can play multiple positions as well is always welcomed. So, for me, I like the signing. I think he's going to definitely take us up another level and give us another option in that middle of the park.
Aye, like you say, 100%. Like if he's coming for a team that's demanding of him, like you totally need that here. How many signings do we get and they don't know what it means? They don't know what it's like to be constantly pressure to win every single game. Obviously, it's good as well. I think he's what 21, 22. So
Hmm.
good player to maybe grow and then maybe sell on in a few years for like a good amount of profit rather than getting people on loan and we're promoting like other teams like players and stuff as well. And it's good to not just be buying folk for League One and the Championship in January like they
Hmm.
usually do as well. So it shows the club's going in a good direction. I think the start of the season was a bit all over the place, but I think they really know what they're doing now and they've got an actual leading focus on what they want to achieve.
Well, of course, I didn't put it in this slideshow because it was after I made it, but Gillespie obviously announced as CEO as
Mm.
well, so they've made that appointment in the club. So they seem to be getting the pieces in place. They seem to be getting the players in that Danny Rowe requires to really make a strong Rangers team. I think you're looking at that team. Diomande, Raskin, Barron, all fine. You can maybe have your question marks about Asgard playing in the middle of the park, but we needed some depth in that area because Lyle Cameron's probably going to leave out in loan. Dowell's going to leave, so another midfielder in is really welcomed. And you look at the midfield options that we've actually got now, including him. I mean, Diomande, Raskin, Barron, and him all probably could be sold for more than we buy them for. So,
Mm.
it's a good area of the pitch. We're stacking it with some good players. So I'm interested to see what he'll bring. And then the one that might very well be announced after we upload this one is two Romans for Westerlo. Obviously, we needed a left back in, no question about it. I thought Jaden Magoma again, to be fair, was good yesterday, and he has been good for being 19 years old and coming into a really difficult situation at Rangers.
Really,
Aye, he's always always at least a 7 out of 10 for me anyway, I think.
aye.
And I think for him to play half of the season with no competition and still maintain that level is a good sign. But you've probably got your starting left back now for next season. Into Romans. Again, he's coming in for about £3.5 million for Westerlo, managed obviously by Sam Shirai, who was here last season as a coach of Rangers. And by all accounts, he's got the kind of right attributes to be a left back at Rangers. Dynamic, really good one-to-one defender, and he can get forward, which is the main thing you want for your left backs in this day and age. So, for me, this was one of the main positions we had to get sorted early in January, and I'm happy that that one's really, really close now.
Aye, it was like I was saying last week as well, even if maybe Magoma might be still the starting left back the rest of the season, but it's good to get these players in, bed them for even 6 months, and then look to see what the club's about and stuff as well. And then I think it was like what Stephen Gerrard was saying his year when we were successful. Like when you look at that starting 11, there was a backup person to come in that wouldn't really change the output of the team at all. So I think it's good to see that we're slowly building in that. I don't really know a lot about the player, I'm going to be honest, but I hopefully can hit the ground running and be good competition for Magoma as
Aye,
well for the end of the season.
as I say, I don't know too much about him myself, but seeing the kind of clips and seeing obviously his manager over at Westerlo talk about him, the fact that he's in the Belgium setup as well, and the under
Mm.
21s at the moment. Good signs, all point to hopefully being a good bit of business again. So, getting another left back in, really good signs. On Friday afternoon, I think it broke the Keith Downey and Sky Sports News that Rangers have inquired for two Sunderland players. The first one that we'll talk about, Romain Mundle, which would likely be a loan deal. He's a right winger. Again, he's still young. He's played 8 games, I think, in the Premiership for Sunderland this year. He's kind of struggling for minutes, and I think it's understandable why they want to get him out on loan and see his qualities. He played for them down in the Championship last season. He's been at Spurs as a youth player on that. So you can see stats there. He's played 8 games. One of them coming in the FA Cup the other day. So he needs to go out and play games. I don't mind it as much, but we're going to end up speaking about another player that was heavily linked last night that I would rather get in on loan than Romain Mundle. But for me, I don't think these EPL loans work out the way we want them half the time. I mean, you look at Aarons, you look at Giga, they're not really playing too much, and they're coming through Wolves and Bournemouth. So I don't know too much about Romain Mundle. For what I've seen, he's got really a lot of bags of potential, but I think at this moment in time, we should be looking for somebody a bit better.
Aye, 100%. You don't want to be, again, at this stage of the season, you don't really want to be taking a gamble on that. And then if one of your wingers do go out, you've got someone that you can't really rely on. And then you don't really want to develop in other players that then. So you don't want to be really developing other teams' players that are going to go away at the end of the season if they are good. Because let's be honest, a team like Sunderland, if it comes good, they're probably wanting money that we can't really afford or would want to be spending on other areas of the pitch. So, aye.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of conflicted on that one as well. But the one that I've done a bit more digging into, the one that I think is more likely to happen is Dan Neil. Obviously, former Sunderland captain. He got them promoted last year as captain. By all accounts, a really tidy football player. He's 24 years old, again in a midfield area where we need probably another body. Maybe not in January, but maybe as a pre-contract because his contract is running out in the summer as well. So this could be a bit of forward planning for that moment. He's lost his place in the Sunderland team this year again to no fault of his own, but the fact that they've signed Granit Xhaka is a big problem because he's just not going to get in the team, and I think it was a big sign that he didn't play any minutes in our cup game at the weekend as well. So Dan Neil will leave the club. Whether he comes to Rangers or not is a different story. But as I say, we've put the offer in. It might be a 6 months loan with a permanent transfer in the summer. It might just hold off into the summer and he'll go out and loan somewhere else. I don't know. But for me, I like him. I think he's a tidy player. We want somebody to play in that six role and just ping the ball about. We've obviously heard Elliot Watt being rumoured, but I believe he's injured at the moment, so I don't think that one will probably happen in January. But Dan Neil could be a really solid addition into the squad, and I don't feel like it's coming for the same bracket of another championship did. I mean, I think taking Sunderland's captain for them getting promoted into the Premier League's a good sign.
Aye, like you say, like obviously a big club as well, Sunderland. Like expectation riding on you, the fans on you every week if you don't win. 24-year-old captain to get your team into the Premier League, I think it's good to merit getting a move to Rangers. So aye, looks good, looks apart, and then obviously as you say, it's another body in the midfield that will be good. So
Aye, that was his stats for last season because he's only played 3 games this season, but 48 games in total. Obviously, a lot of them come in the Championship and in the playoffs as well for Sunderland. But for me, on a kind of low fee, especially for buying players for the Premier League, you've seen the Yusuf Shermati deal was costing us about £10 million for somebody who can't really even get in the squad
aye,
for Everton. So, aye, with this guy's contract running out, I can think of obviously John Lundstrom. Same kind of deal we done then. His contract was running out, Premier League player, and that's how we were able to get him in at the time we did. So for me, Daniel would be a very big yes. There a couple other ones that have been rumoured, but not as heavily. Sorry if I butcher this guy's name, but Parfait Guigon from Sporting Charleroi. He's a left winger, Ivory Coast international. Looks very tricky in some of the clips that I've seen him. He looks like a really decent winger. He has played 21 games this season, scored seven with 2 assists in the Belgian Pro League, which again we're not shy of the Belgian Pro League. We tend to do a lot of our scouting over there. I think we do need another winger. Whether that's on the left hand side, I don't think so. I think we need another right winger. But again, this guy's contract's expiring in the summer. There's a clear trend with all these guys that we might be just trying to build the squad for the next season as well. So, aye, for me, I would like him. He looks good in his clips, and don't know about yourself, but for me at the moment, I would like to try and get a right winger in this window rather than the left one.
I know I'm the same, but you just like you say, at this time of the season, you just need bulk and bodies for this time of the season. Because how many times have you seen players drop like flies because we've been playing so many games? And then, like you were saying, we've got Dowell might need to come in, fucking Matondo, God,
Hmm.
hopefully not. It's just about getting bodies in. Obviously, you want the right bodies because you don't want to just sign people for the sake of it to say you've got like depth. But I definitely need another right winger because the wingers can be a bit on and off sometimes in their day. Sometimes they show up and they're brilliant, but then there's other days I can think of Mikey Moore in the old firm would score to score, but didn't really create a lot or do a lot, wasn't really in the game. Gassama yesterday won the penalty, but didn't really offer a lot. So it's good to have the options. You're always going to want wingers as options in the team, the
Aye.
formation in that. So aye.
Aye, and I think like, when you look at our team, apart from Gassama and Moore, obviously Ant Man has just came back yesterday as well. I still think there's something in Ant Man that Danny Rowe can get out of him. But apart from that, I mean, Matondo's not going to be a starter at Rangers. He's going to leave in this window probably. Um,
Seen
aye,
Finlay Curtis was trying to get Finlay Curtis out on loan as well.
aye, Finlay Curtis again, one of the ones that I didn't put in this, but aye, Kilmarnock possibly taking him on loan as well could be a good move.
Aye, good.
I think at his stage he just kind of has to be playing football, but it frees up another squad spot as well. So I think for me, the way that we're getting linked with players this summer is, I mean, they're coming from everywhere. Every other day, there's a new link to somebody. There's a clear trend in why we're going for that player. So I for me, I'm not saying no to Parfait Guigon in this window anyway, but I think the one that kind of surprised all of us last night after the game was Andrei Skov Olsen getting linked again. This comes before Gerrard tried to sign him, Gio tried to sign him. He seems to be linked all the time with Rangers. The key thing to note, he's a right winger. He's a left-footed right winger. Is something we just desperately need in this team. Um, of course, he played his best football at Club Brugge. He signed for Wolfsburg last season. I think in the January transfer window for £14 million. He's still only 26 year old. He's got 40 Danish caps. He's just struggled in the Bundesliga for consistency. I think as a whole, Wolfsburg are really struggling at the moment. They get beat 8-1 off Bayern Munich yesterday, so there's that. He wasn't involved in that. Apparently, he's out injured, but apparently he's surplus to requirements, and they're trying to get rid of him as well. So, another possible Wolfsburg right wing loanee coming in for a second season in a row. And if he's as good as Czerny, which I think he will be, because he's somebody we've followed for a long time, of course. You don't get 40 caps for Denmark for nothing. So, aye, this has to happen for me. This could be a real game changing signing for a player that we were hoping to attract, is now getting talked about. There's no more Josh Windass chat on loan. Possibility of getting Andrew Scott Wilson on loan could genuinely be a real boost to just make us better in every way.
Like you say, it's a high caliber player we've obviously been chasing for years. You don't, like you were saying, you don't get 40 caps for Denmark for nothing. You don't get a €14 million move for nothing. So, aye, try your best to get him, Rangers, please.
Aye, and that's obviously stats for this season. He's only played 10 games, a goal in the cup and a goal in the league. But as I say, I wouldn't ride too much on him. I think you look at his stats as a professional player, and he's a player that's always captivated the Rangers support anytime that he's been linked. So, this
See,
seems
you
to be
see,
moving in the right direction anyway.
I was going to say, you see players that are struggling for us and then they go on loan, they're brilliant. So it's maybe just they're not, the club just doesn't fit them or the league just doesn't fit them. So maybe if they come, the Scottish League will fit them a bit better. I don't know, but you just need to hope that's the
Aye.
case because it's happened to us plenty of times. So,
I think us obviously signing a Danish player the other day will help bedding him in as well.
aye.
He's obviously looking to get in that Denmark squad for the World Cup push as well. So he has to be playing football, and I think we are positioned quite nicely to maybe get him. But we'll see how this one materialises. I still think there'll be a lot of big clubs in for him, because I say does hold some good value. He's a great age, and he's got great qualities that would. He would just take us up another level in the attacking front, which is what we need. I think you look at that Aberdeen game yesterday, at times we do just heavily rely on set pieces working to score goals, but we
Mhm.
need to really take the game to the other teams and start just dominating for the off and creating chances. So adding a player of this caliber in would definitely do that. So we'll keep an eye on it. I think the last one that we've got to speak about is the only other outgoing apart from Finlay Curtis that was not included in this one. Clinton Insiala could be heading off to Motherwell. Of course, Celtic recalled Stephen Welsh. So they do need another centre half, and they could be getting another one for us on loan. I think this could be a really, really good move for Clinton Siala, especially the way he plays as well. He's good with his feet. Motherwell, I mean, remarkable team this season. I think it could be a really good environment to play in.
No, 100%. The way Motherwell plays well, I think would suit him. He's raw for us, so I don't think he's going to get into your team anytime soon. Like he's a raw player, so I think going loan. Obviously, it's good to still let's stay in the league because that's the football that he'll be coming up against if he comes back to us at the end of the season or if we sell him. I don't know where he goes, but I know it actually looks like a perfect fit. The more I think about it.
I think him and Curtis both going to possibly teams in your league should always be a good thing. They can't play against you, but they can play against everybody else, and that's a good thing. You should be strengthening the other teams around you, to try and take points off Hearts and Celtic who are above us. So, I
Mhm.
think this could be a really good move for him and Curtis if they both end up going through. But that's kind of all the outgoings. I mean, there's not been any offers in for our players apart from there's been chat about Gassama, but nothing really concrete about who the clubs are. If there's any official contact, just as like, clubs are interested in. But it all seems to be moving in the right direction. can't remember a time at Rangers where we've been in this position in a title race, playing good football. The fans are happy, the team are performing, and we're signing players that are just going to nicely slot into a cup game against Annan on Friday and get their debut. It's usually, can I slot these players in now? We've got games to win and all that. It's just, it feels like the perfect time to get a couple of signings over the line this week.
And then you've not got any games in the league. You'd even want to play them in the Europa League as well. Gives them another game to bed into. 'Cause I think we've got Ludogorets before after Annan before we actually play. I think is it Dundee the next league game at home. So
Dundee's our next game. I think it's the 25th of January, so there's a wee bit of time in that.
gives us a couple of games for the new signings. Like you say, it's everything seems to be flowing perfectly, which is not usually the case for us. But aye, we'll take it.
I know you've got to take it while it comes. And we'll see what materialises this week. I'm expecting probably those two loans to be confirmed, and probably two Romans later on the night or tomorrow morning, and then get some more concrete information on any of the ones that we spoke about today. But we're definitely heading in the right place. Andrew Kavanagh knows what he has to do to get this club over the line, and winning a league could just be massive, obviously, for us winning the league, but the possibility of getting direct entry into the Champions League is massive, because I think after this season it gets really difficult for anybody to get into Europe and Scotland.
Mm.
Um, so if we can just do that, that'd be fantastic. But that's kind of all we've got to speak about today. Really positive signs coming out of Rangers this week, and hopefully it can continue into next week. As I say, we've got a cup game on the Friday, and then the Europa League. So no league to get paranoid about. Obviously, we'll have eyes on the games on Wednesday to see what happens there in the title race. But we'll be back probably in a couple of weeks talking over the transfer window, talking over the league action when it's back, and I keep an eye on the Twitter that we're posting all the time. Any links, any thoughts, you can get us over there. So we'll see you then.